It's done. So I have sunflowers, and then 3 rows of corn, and then squash, and the squash goes around the edges of the bed too. No potatoes up yet, but all the flowers are seeming like they're really happy. And this bed's all planted, but nothing up yet. Really nothing I've seeded in here has come up yet, but all of the starts are looking good. My one reject sunflower that didn't get planted yet. A whole lot going on in here. I'm gonna have to replant, I think. My lemon thyme I don't think made it. I'm not sure if that's peppermint that spread to here or if that might be the orange mint, but the orange mint doesn't look like it has a lot of life either. The oregano is loving life. Such a nice night. So that's the peony from Nana's house. I mounted some manure on top of these peonies because they had some roots exposed. I didn't dig them in deep enough, so now they're going to be mounds. We'll see. They already seem happier, honestly. Like that was just a tiny little red bud yesterday. I think that little guy is one of my bachelor buttons. And I don't know about the poppies. They're so tiny that I don't know what the seedlings look like, so I took all the mulch out of here yesterday to hopefully see them when they germinate and give them a chance to germinate. This peony is doing better than the other ones. And I got these beds planted. Well, 5 of them are planted. So I have tomatoes. So these 4 corner beds are all the same. So I have tomato, 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 tomato. And then in between them, there's zinnias planted. So 4 zinnias. And then in the corners, I have nasturtiums. And then this bed is Thai basil. So there's also basil around the edges. And I have fuzzy peach tomatoes. That's a cherry tomato. And then these 2 are Berkeley pink tie-dye. Those are wild boar tomatoes. I'm really excited about. This is the reject kale that's now just starting to grow, and I'm probably going to be planting my extra corn in here because I only have 20 extra. I can't count apparently. So this bed has, I think that it is early girl tomato, and then the other 3 are tomato Manitobas. This bed has sweet basil and the nasturtiums in the corner. These are some more Swiss giant pansies that I'm going to be putting over under the maples in that area. I don't know if you can see my fancy fence, but I have it gated off because I'm going to be planting in there, and I don't want the dogs to be trampling it all, but I'm just waiting on the line location. So there's some more herbs and some greens that I just picked so they look really sad. These are some volunteer radishes, and honestly, the volunteers are the only ones that survived. The ones that I planted all got ate by the flea beetles, as you can see that they did get in here, but I don't know, those ones were a little bit more tolerant of it. Now this box is all black tomatoes. I have black Krim and a variety called Tim's Black Ruffle that I got in the seed swap. Some more kale. And then I think this is going to be my favorite bed. So I have some random volunteer spinach that won't be there much longer. My nasturtiums in the corners. And then I have red basil, which I'm obsessed with. It's so good. So I have that around the edges. And then in this bed it's a little different. I have 3 cherry tomatoes on either side. Oops, that's just my finger. 3 cherry tomatoes. And then down the middle I have 4 zinnias. So I think it's going to look really, really nice when it's all filled out. And the brassicas. Some of these are getting huge. And so these ones have arugula. It survived the flea beetles. But they decimated my mustard greens that I had planted here. This cauliflower is actually looking like it might be starting to produce a head pretty soon. Same with a couple of these broccolis. So these are the daikon radishes, and they also seem to be a little bit more tolerant of the flea beetle damage. And these are the Malaga radishes. I also got those in the seed swap, and they're purple, I guess. I don't know, I haven't seen them yet, but they're supposed to be like a dark plum purple. They look really pretty, and they're supposed to be a bit milder and sweeter. But yeah, the Cherry Belle radishes, so that's the same variety that has volunteered in the beds. I think those are like the only survivors. And a couple of wee cabbages and some kale. And this cabbage, I don't know if you can see this, sort of netting. That one is looking like it's gonna make a head pretty soon. These little guys are getting established. And tomorrow we're going to my Nana's to cut up some metal to use with my PVC pipe to make some better bug nets to go over this bed and that bed. That will give them a little more space to grow because they're going to get a lot bigger. And so I used my compost. I got about 2 wheelbarrows full. And this is where I'm going to be planting all my flowers and hopefully some Saskatoons. I'm very excited. And I also have, I think it might be a, what are they called? Not choke cherries, not gooseberries. Oh, that's stupid that I can't think of it. Anyways, I think I have a little fruit-bearing bush growing on the north side of my house, along with an asparagus that I want to pull out. Oh, I didn't show you. The lilacs are just starting to open. There's like just a few little blossoms that have opened. But I'm so excited. They're my favorite. Lilacs and mosquitoes. Gross. Wait. Oh, here they come. I think anyone who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with my lilacs. And the moon is out. Hello, moon. And yeah, that's the garden update. But it's all planted, and I'm so excited. Well, almost all planted. I still have, let's go look at that actually. Look at these beastie asparagus. I had enough manure to amend this bed. I'm still waiting on 3 out of 4 of those to come up. This peony doesn't look super happy over here. So tomorrow, I'm hoping to get these cucumbers planted. This is all my extra corn because I cannot do math to save my life. These are my extra Brussels sprouts, but those ones were just actually extras. Just every single extra I planted lived. And then I think I ended up planting some of my extra broccoli instead of Brussels sprouts because we like it better. So then I have these nasturtiums are going to go in the corners of the final 4 beds that haven't been planted. And then these are bee balm. And this is all extra basil. And that's going to go over by the trees. And these are more cucumbers that are going to hopefully get planted tomorrow. Some more flowers. So I have my extra calendula and a few extra marigolds. And then these are echinacea. So that's also all going to go under the trees. These are my early girl tomatoes I'm taking to my Nana tomorrow. And some asparagus that I need to find a home for. It will probably end up living under the trees too. This is all of the basil that I started really, really early in the spring, and it's starting to flower. Come on, focus. Rude. Jesus. So yeah, that's gonna flower. And I'm gonna try and I think save seeds off of all of these ones. And then these are the peppers that survived the massacre of 2020. And they're alive. I don't think they're gonna win any beauty pageants, but they're kicking. And then this is our little miscellaneous. So that is my loofah vine. I have 2 of them in there. Then there's also, where is it? There's some okra somewhere. It's hard to tell under the mesh, but there's okra, there's loofah, and my poor eggplants got really sunburnt. So they're looking really sad now, and that makes me really sad. I also have, they're a variety of Roma, and they were labeled as VF Roma, and they really did not do well. Like, a lot of them died. So I'm not planting any of them, just in case it was something that could pass to my other tomatoes. Oh, and other things I didn't show. There's so much now. I have a little Marvel of 4 Seasons lettuce, and then I have, oh my god, phone. Along the back, there are sweet peas, and then at the front, I have just some sugar snap peas, but only 4 came up, which I was anticipating low germination on those because I had that last year. So I'm going to plant in the gaps that didn't germinate some Malabar spinach to climb this super sad trellis, but it's here, so why not? Same with, I don't think you're going to be able to see them from up here, but I'm too lazy to walk down there, but I planted along the fence here with alternating peas and snap peas, and they've started to come up too. So, and then tomorrow in the corn bed with the squash and the sunflowers, I'm going to be planting beans, which I need to soak right now. So yeah, it's almost June and everything's almost planted, and I'm so happy.